Hi there, thanks for joining us on Let's Talk Taste with Sherry, where we're saving the earth one flavor at a time by gathering community to share wisdom around the natural connections between our innate sense of taste and flavors that are grown in healthy regenerative soils. Welcome. Hey there, Sherry Hess with the Flavor Remedy. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Let's Talk Taste with Sherry, saving the earth one flavor at a time. Okay, so today, this really cool concept that has come to me through experiences that I've been diving into lately. So let me just set the stage here real quick, where this conversation is going. So since I have been kind of dreaming up this concept and really trying to dive into why do we have our sense of taste, right? Why do we have this sense that has been kind of dismissed as superficial, that has been hijacked through different kinds of flavors, and which really is our only inborn innate tool that we have to help us detect nutrition, right? And we get so kind of sidetracked because it's a pleasurable experience, right? When we eat and we experience good flavors, it's pleasure. So that pleasure aspect allows different flavors, different opportunities for our taste buds to be hijacked, right? So when I was originally thinking about how can we trust our sense of taste and how can we get to this place where we can listen to our bodies and let this pleasure be not only like fun but also functional, right? So for years, I've been dreaming up this idea of what I'm calling living flavor, right? So living flavor. What does living flavor want to be? Living flavor is this idea of flavor from life, flavor that's backed by nutrition, right? So flavor that is coming from an entire entity of food and not anything that's being manufactured or any flavor, any foods that have been manipulated to grow in a specific way and all these things, right? So this has been on my mind for years, this concept of living flavor. So now recently, just like a week ago, I have been participating in a BioNutrient soil conference as a and not as a participant, but as a I'm watching it. It's a virtual conference. I'm watching the conference. I'm not, speaking or anything. Maybe next year. Um, so I'm learning a lot, right? Because I want to understand what's happening in our soils. And this is a community of regenerative farmers. So most of the people that are coming onto this show or onto this conference as speakers are farmers that are understanding how we need to change our soils, how we need to fix what's happening to our land, and as a result, our food, right? So there was a gentleman on last week. Um, I think his name was John Kemp, and he did a whole presentation on how we need to be approaching soil from an aspect of biology as opposed to the aspect of chemistry. And that's not to say that you have to exclude chemistry altogether, but they have to work in conjunction with each other, right? So let me kind of set the stage for that and what that means in a very, very basic generic way. If you're here in this audience, you are already aware of, what has happened to food, how our food has changed, how our food has been manipulated to be, you know, shipped across the country as opposed to having flavor or nutrients, or grown with a bigger yield, or genetically modified to resist pests or herbicides and things like that, right? So the short story of that is what has happened in commercial agriculture and across farms, across our country, is that farmers have been forced to be reliant on chemistry alone to produce food. So in other words, they're given a genetically modified seed that, was painted this picture to give them greater yield, give them more return, you know, all the shiny things that these seeds were supposed to do for them. But when a seed is created and it's created in such a way that it demands this extra energy, fuel, food, whatever you want to call it, in order to produce this yield, the only way that happens is through chemistry. So then the farmer's required to put this extra chemistry, these fertilizers that are focused on just three things. The NPK aspect of fertilizer is put onto this food, and it's the only way the seed can thrive and grow. And the seed is also built to be herbicide resistant. right? So, and the way they promoted this to the farmers is, oh, you can spray less herbicides that kill the weeds, right? That's what an herbicide is designed to do, is kill the weeds. So, because it's already built into the seed, the plant itself is growing, and there's less of a need to spray herbicides. But the herbicide is still going into the soil. It's still part of the plant, which ultimately we're ingesting. So if you're seeing the trend here, like this is chemistry, 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 chemistry. We've gotten to this place where the food has become so reliant on chemistry that we're not paying attention to the biology, the living life of the soils. And when he painted that picture about chemistry versus biology, I was like, oh my God, that is the simplest definition of living flavor. Food that is grown with biology, not chemistry, right? And this is a cool thing. This is a cool little segment from that little clip that he talked about. And I apologize because I'm not coming to you with like the references of what the studies and the scientific references are, but he talked about um, this cycle of growth that happens within a plant. And it was a beautiful demonstration as to why biology matters more than chemistry. And it talked about this process when roots are formed on a vegetable. Let's just picture a carrot, right? And there's little fibrous roots that come off of a carrot. There is actually a biological communication that happens within that plant itself. So when the plant detects that it needs a specific type of, it's a bacteria, it's not just a chemical that they're looking for. These plants work in conjunction with bacteria in the soils, bacteria, biology, living life, right? So when the plant requires a specific biology to come into it, it magically creates the food that attracts that bacteria, sends that food out to the roots, which then draws in the bacteria that's required. Like these are things that we've gotten so far away from and so distanced from the magic of what happens in a plant that I'm just like blown away, right? If you can think about the biology of a food versus the chemistry of food, it's awesome because then it doesn't call off food scientists like it doesn't make food science evil. It just makes it this desire to be more comprehensive, more encompassing, looking at more of a bigger picture of what we're doing to our food and how we can make it better, right? We are where we are in this world, and it's easy to like, throw knives and blame things, but we as humans, we think we're smarter than nature and we're just not yet. Maybe someday we are nature, right? So it's hard to compare the two things, but I just keep saying like there's more to learn, there's more to learn, there's more to learn, right? So this concept of biology versus chemistry is such a simple way that you as an individual can start to look at your flavor, right? Start to look at how much is what you're eating, how much is that flavor reliant upon chemistry versus biology. And it's simple when you think about, strawberry yogurt versus a strawberry, right? Because you see the two things and this is biology, this is life, and likely the flavorings in the strawberry yogurt are coming from chemistry. But even beyond that, take the we always talk about the tomato, right? Take the tomato from the grocery store and then go get a locally grown tomato or grow your own. We'll be talking about how to grow your own here soon. Um, and taste it and recognize, right, how much of this tastes like chemicals and how much of this tastes like biology, real true life. So I was so excited to learn that in the conference last week. This idea of biology versus chemistry is the perfect way when you're going out and making choices in what you want to eat. Choose biology, choose the purest form of biology that you can find. And that of course triggers the flag of organic, and organic is a great step in a good choice, but we can go beyond that, right? We can take this whole idea of how to grow our food in this really rich, nutritious soils, biologically rich soils, to not only give you a more pleasurable, delicious experience, but to also help to heal the earth and these soils that are so dead and so yearning for life to be returned to them.